Get out of my car right now and never call me Mom again. Marla's voice was hard and sharp, the kind that does not leave room for questions. The sedan swerved onto the gravel shoulder, and the twins froze in the back seat like their bodies had forgotten how to move. Ava stared at Marla's face, waiting for it to soften. Eli's lip trembled before the tears even came. Because fear always reaches kids faster than meaning, the highway was wide and hot, shining under the sun like a long river of danger. Cars and trucks rushed past in fast waves, close enough to make the air slap the windows. Ava and Eli were 6, small, tired, still wearing their school clothes. Their backpacks sat on their laps. Eli clutched a plastic dinosaur, the one their dad had named Captain Brave. Ava held a threadbare scrunchie in her fist, a tiny habit when she felt unsure. 2 months ago, their world still had Samuel Carter in it. Their father smelled like coffee in the morning and engine oil in the evening. He laughed low and steady, and when he hugged them, his chest felt like a safe wall. Then a factory accident took him without warning. The house went quiet in a way children cannot understand. Ava learned to swallow her questions. Eli learned to cry in the pillow so nobody heard. They started counting days by what they missed instead of what they had. Marla had been their stepmom for 3 years. At first she tried. She cooked dinners that tasted like effort. She braided Ava's hair even when her hands were clumsy. She made Eli warm milk at night when he woke up calling for Dad. But grief twisted her in secret places. Bills stacked up. Friends stopped coming by. Her smile thinned into sighs. Her patience cracked into silence. Lately, every laugh from the twins seemed to cut her nerves. Every need seemed to weigh down her shoulders. This morning, when she said they were going for a small treat, they believed her. Kids believe because it hurts less than doubt. They thought the drive meant ice cream or a park, at least a day that didn't feel heavy. They didn't know she had already decided her exit. Marla turned around in her seat with eyes that looked far away. She said their dad was gone, and she was done carrying what he left behind. She said she didn't choose this life. She said she deserved a fresh start. The words were not loud. They didn't need to be. They were final like a locked door. She opened the back door and pointed at the gravel. Hot air spilled in, smelling of dust and dry weeds. Ava stepped out first because she felt Eli leaning on her. Eli stumbled after, still clutching Captain Brave against his chest, face wet and shocked. Their fingers locked together in a grip that made their knuckles pale. The door slammed. The engine rose. Marla pulled back onto the highway without looking back. In seconds, her car became a dot. Then nothing. The twins stood there on the shoulder like 2 small shadows dropped onto a world that didn't see them. The sun beat down on their heads. The ground was rough under their shoes. A truck thundered past, the wind tugging at their shirts so hard Eli swayed. His crying broke loose, loud, scared, and helpless. He called for Dad, then remembered Dad wasn't there, then cried harder. Ava didn't cry yet. She felt like if she did, the world would tip and never straighten. She pressed her forehead to Eli's head and tried to think Samuel had taught them a safety game. If you ever get scared, find your sibling, stay close, and remember Grandma Denise's address. He made them repeat it like a song until Ava rolled her eyes and Eli giggled. Ava hated the game. But now the words lit up in her mind like a small lantern. She scanned the road. Cars rushed by sealed in their own lives. No one slowed. No one looked. The highway kept moving like the twins were invisible. That silence from strangers felt almost as cruel as Marla's choice. 2 minutes later, a black Rolls Royce glided. Onto the shoulder behind them, it moved slow and smooth, like it belonged to a different world. Its dark paint threw back the sun in clean, sharp lines. The tires crunched softly on gravel, then the car went still. Ava turned first, pulling Eli with her. Fear rose again because luxury cars do not normally stop for lost children. They usually pass like everything else. The back door opened. An older man stepped out, tall, silver-haired, dressed simply in a dark coat. His face carried a calm that made the moment feel less wild. A driver got out too, alert and guarded, scanning the road. But the older man lifted a quiet hand to keep him back. He walked toward the twins slowly, hands open, body lowered so he wouldn't tower over them. He crouched to their height, eyes steady, voice low and firm. He asked if they were hurt. He asked where their parents were. Eli couldn't form words through his tears. Ava swallowed and said the truth without decorating it. Our stepmom left us here. The older man's jaw tightened for a heartbeat. Not at them, but at what had been done. He looked down the highway, then back into their faces. He told them a sentence that felt like shade after fire. You are safe now. Come inside where it is cool. Eli stepped toward the open door because safety has a pull stronger than fear. Ava followed because she would never let go of his hand. Inside, the air was cool and smelled faintly of leather. The seats were soft. The highway roar became a distant thing. Eli's crying fell into quiet sniffles. Ava's shoulders dropped a little as her body finally allowed itself to breathe. The man introduced himself as Rowan. He asked their names. When they said Carter, his eyes flickered with recognition that went deep. Years ago, Samuel Carter had saved Rowan's life during a storm. Rowan had been trapped in a wrecked car in a ditch, bleeding and alone, certain no one would stop. Samuel had stopped. He pulled Rowan out with bare hands, wrapped him in his own jacket, and waited beside him until help came. When Rowan tried to thank him later, Samuel only said you do not pass a person in need. That is all. Rowan had carried that line ever since. Like a rule for being human. 2 months ago, Rowan read that Samuel died. He sent help quietly, believing Samuel's children would be protected. Now they were here, abandoned, holding hands on a highway. Rowan kept his voice calm, but his resolve turned solid. He told his driver to call the police and child services. He asked where they lived. Ava gave Grandma Denise's address without stumbling because her father's game had planted in her bones. Rowan nodded with pride and heartbreak at once. He said they were going to Grandma Denise right now. When they reached the small house, Denise was watering flowers, humming softly like she was trying to stay steady through grief. She looked up at the Rolls Royce in confusion. Then she saw the twins step out holding hands. The watering can fell. She ran and wrapped them so tight, the fear finally slid out of their bodies. In tears. Police came. Rowan gave a clear statement. Time, place, license plate. Marla was found that evening, and her excuses wilted under witness and cameras. Leaving 2 children on a highway was not a slip. It was a choice. And choices meet consequences. Rowan didn't chase attention. He worked. Quietly, the way Samuel once did. He helped Denise secure guardianship fast. He arranged counseling for the twins. He set up a trust in their names so Samuel's kindness wouldn't end with his life. When Denise tried to refuse, Rowan said something simple and unbreakable. Your son saved me when no one else stopped, so I will stop for his children every time. Weeks later, Ava and Eli walked to school with Denise holding both hands. Eli laughed again. Ava looked forward more than back. Healing came slow, but it came. And the Rolls Royce on the shoulder became more than a twist. It became proof that quiet goodness can travel through time, find the right road, and show up exactly when 2 small lives need it most. If this story stayed with you, comment where you're watching from and tell us the moment that hit you hardest. Subscribe for more emotional suspense stories about quiet courage, moral justice, and the kindness that returns when hope feels gone.